No. Well, actually, probably. Uh, Here. Copy video link.
All right.
And I mean, I'm just gonna post it on my Twitter. It'll be no need to post it everywhere. Let's see.
I think, if I'm not mistaken, it's the same guy who does the music for all the games, which is pretty wild.
Like from Fantasia all the way to like now.
I think so.
That's actually ridiculous.
He also does Star Ocean, which is also funny.
That's very funny.
It's fitting, but it is funny how it worked out.
Yeah. Okay. It would help if I turn the Parsec overlay back on. There we go. Alright, perfect. Now it should be fine. Allegedly. Hopefully.
Allegedly.
Yeah. Okay. We can continue on our journey.
We just changed Hold on. Is it my browsers?
What are you changing?
Hold on. I was just changing the link in the diagonal mapping Discord.
That doesn't. Just we just go.
I am.
It's all good.
What is going on with Discord? It's doing weird. Accidentally, whatever. Okay, whatever. Anyway,
It's
are you
fine.
stream live?
Yes. We should be good.
All right. Welcome back, everyone. We're back from our sabbatical from Batical.
I don't remember where we need to go, to be completely honest.
Even after the recap, I think.
Yeah.
Fuck. Let me just.
Oh, I think my
headquarters.
I think my neighbor also just started vacuuming, so apologies if that's picking up. It should be faint enough. I think we're good, but
Yeah. We're going in to wherever this is.
yeah, this
Okay,
looks
there's a guy there.
this looks like progress.
Yeah. There's a fella. Came here to get the score read too. Me when I'm Billy Mitchell. I don't know. You can enter the cathedral from the door at the top of the stairs. Thank you, fella. Who isn't actually important. It's up a lot like the castle in
Legs falling asleep. Oh no, I sat cross-legged for too long. I'm dying.
I think when I went to Japan, I had to It is difficult to adapt to the way you have to sit on the ground sometimes. When you've just never not done that your entire life.
That makes sense. Ah.
Hello, people.
Oh no. Not Google Lens. There we go. My USB adapter fell and smacked my keyboard, and then some weird Google Lens tool
I love
opened up
the
in
way
my browser.
that these tech companies just give us new features that we don't need that are really intrusive.
I do use it on my phone for reverse image search, which is very helpful sometimes, but aside from that, I never use that shit.
My favorite one, asterisk, it means I hate it, is how in Windows 11 you right click and instead of getting the normal menu, you get a fun-filled
The condensed for dummies menu, and then you have to click another thing to get the real menu.
Yes.
Yeah, I think there's a way to go in and make it so that the advanced quote-unquote menu always shows up. I've never gone through and made that change though. I probably should.
I want to make the change where my account isn't tied to my old Google account that has my name. That isn't my preferred name. But that's just how it is on a new PC now, which is annoying. I don't know how I didn't do that. Or how, like, the default is OneDrive. Like, no, I don't want OneDrive to be the default for my fucking documents.
Well, I think that's for everyone, because they're owned by Microsoft or whatever, but also I hate that shit too.
Yeah, I just want to, like, I want to unlink my desktop account from my Hotmail account I have for some reason still. Alright, we're going in. Nice water.
Yeah, I was about to say that water looks pretty solid.
That's actually liquid.
Shit, that took me longer than I wanted.
I was like, wait a minute, I hope...
Listen, my brain is fried. I was streaming KH2 in private to a Discord group, and I had a friend who wouldn't stop fucking making Hawk Tuah puns, and I wanted to die by the end of the night.
I want to get to KH1.
This is a solid time.
I have friends who are shooters for that game, so I'm going to ask them for advice to make it as nice as possible for me.
I feel like I used to be more of a shooter for that game until I replayed it.
My impression is you were more of a shooter before you started getting the ultimate weapon.
That's partially true. I was about to say, I feel like my advice to you is don't even bother, because I've also learned, because I think I said in the podcast when I talked about it, that it's one of the requirements for getting the best version of the secret ending. Not true. You don't need it. So I would say don't even bother, honestly.
Yeah, I was thinking if it's that's tedious, I won't need to bother, probably. Like,
you also just, like, don't need it. Like, and also part of the, so I think part of it also too, this didn't really impact my enjoyment of the game, but
yeah.
When I was doing all of the stuff to get the Ultima weapon, I equipped Sora with all the EXP up items, because I was like, well, I mean, I might as well, like, if I'm doing all this, like, going back and forth to, like, get stuff, I might as well get a bunch of EXP out of it too. So by the time I had Ultima weapon, I feel like all of the levels I had increased played a more significant role than the actual weapon stats. And the super bosses were very easy. Actually, I beat the hardest super boss in the game while not having proper gear on. Like, I accidentally still had all of my EXP stuff up and not, like, actual protective gear. And I was like, yeah, that was kind of tricky. And then I was like, oh, I made that harder for myself than I needed to. But those fights are fun.
Yeah. That's gonna be a nice thing about, like, a well-designed action RPG is like the, like, interplay between our action and RPG, but also, like, you can lean on one or more for your playstyle, and that can, like, change the experience for you in different ways.
I have a lot of complex thoughts about that game, in that I kind of wish the game is very backloaded in terms of, like, where I think the quality of it really shines. Where I kind of wish some of the design philosophy that went into the super bosses you get late at the game were more sprinkled throughout the regular bosses. And I kind of wish that the level, like, the platformery side of the level design of the last area was maybe sprinkled throughout more of the rest of the game, too. But that's how it goes sometimes.
That's fair.
Like, the final area is, like, a really cool dungeon with, like, a lot of, like, cool, like, you go back and forth and solve puzzles and platform around, and I was like, I kind of wish the rest of the Disney worlds were like this.
I feel a little bit bad because we just had a conversation with Adisa's dad, and I have no idea what happened.
And it's happened.
I think he got scammed by some people in the thing, and Adisa's like, "What the hell?" Oh, Rem Day. I also like ReZero.
That flew right over my head.
Oh, don't worry about it. It was like a...
Oh, that's one of the fucking ladies. The only thing I know about that show is that apparently it's like based off of a time loop thing, but that at some point he starts to get checkpoints, and I'm like, that immediately stops being interesting to me. That sounds lame as hell.
I actually think it works out pretty well.
Oh, have you
Where
watched
it's like,
it?
yeah.
Oh, okay.
Well, I mean, I've seen the 2 seasons that have existed. It's just the sort of thing where he's like, he gets caught in successive time loops, where it's like, I'm stuck in one day because I keep dying. I need to progress this day, and now I'm in the next time of the next day. He's basically like, well, how do I move forward to the next period of my life, basically?
Oh.
And like his time loop powers is the only powers he has because otherwise he's a normal guy, which makes him really like fragile compared to like everyone else in the setting.
Ah, yes, permits.
Yeah.
I wish. So I've been Werner Herzog brained for a little bit here, but
Yeah.
I appreciate that he, at the very least, he used to. I don't know if he still does, but he has like a private film course thing. And like he doesn't actually teach you all that much about like making movies, but like he teaches you how to like break into places and lockpick and like forge filming permits for like when you travel and you need to do that stuff.
Oh, is he allowed to just put that in his course?
I mean, I think it's one of those things where the information's fine. It's what you do with it is up to you? Question mark.
Does he have to say, "I'm not giving you legal advice, but
Probably.
here's a fake document"?
Apparently when he was filming one of his documentaries, he did do that, where, like, he forged a letter saying, like, because there was, like, I think there was, like, either, like, a military coup or there was some sort of military action going on. The army's like, you need to leave. And he's like, no, I got this letter from this important guy saying it was okay for us to be here. He was like, all right, guys, we have, like, 2 days, maybe tops, before they realize that's bullshit. We need to...
Why would you do this?
Because sometimes you want to make something really, really bad. I would be too afraid to do that, especially if the person I'm talking to has a gun.
Yeah. We're in the library now.
Library.
Alright. Open. Look at the books.
Examine.
Sephiroth? Sure.
Okay.
Oh. It said there's a book, and then it's just like, well, here's like a single page.
Oh, that's how that goes.
I don't know how the patience to actually bother reading all these.
Oh, damn.
Are you an avid book reader in RPG? person?
Yes. Well, okay, it depends. Like, if we're talking Elder Scrolls ones, most of the time I think they're kind of sniffing their own farts. Okay, now this I extremely do not care about.
That's just a document.
Yeah.
History,
Now this I
or
am
allowed.
curious about. Let's see.
Established, described by Yulia. Says world from
Directs
destruction or war.
history. Okay.
Surely a good organization.
See, I simply refuse to believe in an organization that's like, we know how everything is going to happen, but we also need people, boots on the ground, to make sure it happens the way we already know it's going to happen. That's just...
Yeah. This
This whole thing smacks of horse shit.
Yeah. By the way, a couple weeks ago, I finished the Berserk anime. Unrelated.
Sometimes that castle yet gleams in your eye. What a good sequence of, like, tension and drama.
Oh, you mean the Eclipse?
Yes.
Yeah, it's pretty... It's definitely interesting going to that story, knowing more or less from osmosis, the deal with Griffith, and then like seeing, you know, the details that you don't get from like the
I can only
Cold Process.
imagine.
yeah.
There is a point, I can't remember if it's in the 98 anime or not, but at the very least I know it's in the manga, where he's like, should I stop? And then he's like, I don't think I can stop. I think I've committed too hard already. And, like,
I mean, I think that's just during the eclipse where he's like, this is kind of fucked, and then it's just like,
but like, there's this.
it's a real sunk cost fallacy.
Yeah,
and,
like,
and then he gets like the vision of Guts saying, yeah, you should do it.
like, yeah, there's this moment that I feel is so tragically human, where he's like, I think I've already made my decision to like double down on being evil. I don't really know if I can walk this one back. I might as well commit fully.
Yeah,
It's
he's
just
like,
Jesus Christ.
If I think about it, a whole bunch of people have already been killed for my dream. So, you know, what's these?
Well, what's a couple more? Yeah. You should read the manga. It's one of my favorite things
Yeah.
on planet Earth.
Yeah, I've been thinking about trying to read some manga. But also I'm like, well, on one hand, I also want to try and read some more Dragon Ball because
Dragon Ball also good and probably will make you less depressed.
yeah, because I'm like, you know, we got yeah, I kind of gave up on reading the rest of those to be honest.
That's fine. We got bits and pieces.
Yeah,
Everything important should be explained in the main narrative anyways.
yeah. No. Here's the new fall fits. But as I was saying, like yeah, my impetus for reading Dragon Ball was definitely like, oh, they're doing the movies, and I don't think with the Z movies I can actually watch them without knowing who the guys are, the way I could do the original Dragon Ball movies.
I would be a little bit shocked if you don't have most of it through osmosis already.
Yeah.
But that's me assuming a lot as someone who grew up a Dragon Ball kid.
Yeah, because I'm like, because like the original Dragon Ball movies is basically like, well, there's kind of like a stand-in for the arcs in the manga anyway, to a degree. I don't know where I'm going. I'm just looking around. But the way they described it, it was like, oh yeah, these are just gonna throw you in with the Dragon Ball movies. But I don't know, maybe I'll. Oh, I accidentally went to the right place. Cool. Yeah. I guess maybe I could. I don't know. I was gonna do the experiment where I just watched the Dragon Ball movies without any other exposure to Dragon Ball, but you know, I guess I'm already reading the manga. I may as well. Yeah. The way that Berserk 97, 98 anime ends, it's like this is the most to be continued in the manga an anime has ever ended.
Yeah, well, it also, like, that adaptation completely cuts out, like, a significant character who, like, is responsible for getting them out of that whole thing.
Yeah, that's what I heard.
Which is, like, also, I actually feel like these days I kind of prefer the, like, 2010s-ish, like, movie trilogy to the, like, the vibes of the original, unparalleled. But, like, as an actual story, I do kind of think the movies cover more of what I actually, like, think of when I think of the Golden Age arc, versus the anime. Like,
maybe one day I'll
original
see,
anime.
because I know some people don't like those movies as much.
They do take a little bit of getting used to, especially the first one, with how they, like, implement the CG.
Yeah. But also I'm like, well, if I'm gonna read the manga, I won't necessarily want to rush into the Golden Age a third time.
No, I think you can wait a bit on those. I do think they get better as they go on. Like, I actually genuinely think the third movie is just beautifully animated.
Yeah.
And as fucked up as it is, I think they do the Eclipse really good justice there. That first one's a little rough, but it has its highlights still.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
like obviously movie trilogy, they have to cut some things that I wish were still there, but I think the cuts they made are smarter than some of the anime, like the original anime TV show cuts.
yeah. I do think it's interesting the way the original anime is like. You really do get so little supernatural stuff until it really starts creeping, and then it crescendos at the end. It's a
Yeah.
like, interesting vibe, even though I know it's like more. It's maybe a bit more present in the manga, I think.
Oh yeah, it is.
It's interesting in terms of the vibes it presents.
Yeah, like I mean, the manga starts with a flash, like, well, I guess it's not really a flash forward, but like, you get two little tiny condensed story episodes of like him dealing with apostle shit already, and then large flashback to how we got here.
Yeah, you even get like in the anime, you get the one episode that's the Black Swordsman arc.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah, I read the first volume at least already, so. It is funny just how much Guts is an asshole in those first 2
Oh yeah, the Black Swordsman arc is rough. I will say, I wish that I'm kind of surprised the anime picked the Snake guy versus. I feel like maybe it would have been hard to fit into one episode, but I actually feel like the Slug dude would have, like, if you had to pick one to adapt, I would pick the Slug guy and his whole thing with the daughter, but
yeah, I guess I can see why they did the Snake just because it's like the first one.
yeah,
It's
also
like,
like
we can do the
quicker.
first chapter and
It's like quicker too. It probably
yeah.
I just like I truly have no emotion towards the Snake Man. Versus like the first part where it's like, oh, Guts is actually kind of interesting, is you get that bit where it's like, oh shit, like he's trying not to cry in front of this child.
Yeah. It is also a quite like an adjustment. Going from that first anime and then starting the manga, and like I know he was there, but Puck is a thing to adjust to.
Oh yeah,
for sure. It's definitely interesting because I feel like I don't really know what the deal with Berserk is beyond the Golden Age, especially now that I've seen the anime that is the Golden Age.
See,
also, a lot of people in the circles I know value the stuff that's post Golden Age.
Oh yeah, I mean the best parts of Berserk, like I like Golden Age a lot, but like the best parts of Berserk are literally everything after.
Because like I feel like
Another skit.
yeah, the Tales of this classic. It's like I feel like Golden Age feels a bit like overrepresented maybe in like the discussion of Berserk, or at least its portrayal. So it's easier to like recognize stuff in the Golden Age more so than the stuff that happens later.
Yeah, I mean a lot of. It's also hard because like I think adapting the other stuff without doing Golden Age first is like kind of doomed to fail in its own way. That's even beyond the like 2016 anime's already existing issues.
Yeah.
Because like so much of it is in reaction to what happened there.
I guess I can see why the problem of adapting Berserk happens, where it's like
it's
you get
not
the
an
first
easy.
adaptation,
It's not easy to.
and then you don't get one for like a while because one, it's a hard series to adapt given its like grimness, I guess you'd say.
Yeah.
And also the studio making that one is doing Pokemon, and they don't need to make another thing. But on the other hand, it's like, well, we need another studio comes in. Well, time to do another adaptation of Berserk, so we got to start with the Golden Age because that's what you got to do. I don't know what happened to that skit. I feel so bad missing the skits. Guess that's just the LP life.
Yeah.
It's okay. Maybe one day I'll replay this game and I'll have a better idea of the skits. But yeah, and then it's like they're like, well, there's been forever, so we need to start with the Golden Age, and then we only managed to get to the Golden Age before that project falls apart. And then another studio's like, well, we're going to do the bold decision to do after the Golden Age. And then it sucks, and then it's like, well, now what?
Yeah.
You're not gonna redo that arc, are you?
I was
are you
I
gonna-
was there for the 2016 anime day one, hoping like, oh, finally, and then the first episode dropped, and I went, oh no, this is
Yeah.
bad.
Oh wait, hold on.
It's locked. Puzzles. Nice.
All right, gaming. Okay, I'm
Alright.
Guy.
Yep. I'm nobody. Oh, there we go. I had to click in. I'm good.
Oh, you're a tier now. I
Yeah.
guess. Let me know when if you want to change to something else.
I'll stick with this for now.
Okay. I forgot guys' moves. Oh yeah, I forgot. Did you see the thing I showed you? Was just like you can do tag team arts.
Vaguely, but it's also been like weeks, so I do
Yeah,
not
yeah.
remember the details.
Yeah, I think it's just like it's just specifically like there's certain like obviously there's certain arts which react to the certain specific elements. And then there's also certain ones where it's like you can do like if you do it like around the same time to the same circle, then you can get a combo when it's even stronger. Which that means a bit of like looking up which ones actually do which I did not do in advance. But I'll do that later. I guess I'm gonna get back into the rhythm of things for now. But yeah, the example my friend showed me was like the one where you have like Ash and Jade doing like a twin lightning spell in like the circle, the wind circle. I'm like, oh, that's cool.
Have we gotten a tutorial for that even yet? Because I know we
No.
got one for like the field resonance stuff, like when it's active.
It might be one of those things where like you're just gonna discover it.
Stumble onto them. Yeah.
Yeah. I feel like there's like inconsistency in how this series like does tutorialization and stuff.
I'm gonna be honest, a lot of the field stuff so far has felt kind of ignorable. Like, it's one of those things where, like, in fights, it's kind of, like, nice if it happens, but if it doesn't, like, don't sweat it.
Yeah, I think I get the impression it's like for most players it's like you can skip it, and then like on a higher level you want to take advantage of it. Like if you're like the person who's just doing multiple playthroughs of the game and trying to get cool combos, you're gonna care a lot more about those.
Yeah.
To get the most out of it, because I know that's like my friend told me you can cancel anything into those altered combos, into those alt arts is a thing. So they're useful for extending your combo. Oh, she's so devastated about shrinking them. But yeah, I also think that like there may also be a reason why this mechanic is one that's like only in this game. It's not one they necessarily built upon, because if it's like, you know, some of it I guess is like, well,
The
like
field thing or the dual arts thing?
Well, I think depending on the game they find some ways to do dual arts, but like specifically the field thing.
Yeah, well, I
That's
mean,
the
it's
base-
like thematically appropriate with the element thing they have going on. Swap me out. I don't know if I want to play tier right now. I feel like I'm... Oh, there we go. I can do whoever.
I'll give you Luke.
Okay.
I might be in it. I might be in these for now. Yeah, I'll keep it like this for now. That's
That was good.
I was expecting that to happen.
It looks like an extremely interactable journal on the table there.
Yeah. What is this?
Is
What
that a
this?
gong? I think that's a chair.
Yeah, I think it's a chair. Anyway, let's find this extremely interactable journal.
Maybe not. Is it not?
It's not!
Damn, we got baited.
Jeff baited. Oh my, he didn't. He just really didn't.
Let's fuck this guy's day up.
Yeah. Yeah. It's been. I don't remember what arts I have equipped to what, but also I guess I don't care too much. I do feel like I'm a bit more like less keeping note of this stuff in the co-op setting than I do with Symphonia.
Yeah, I mean, there's just more going on.
Yeah.
See, also, those... I don't... Is there... What determines how long they stay active, like, the fields stay active on the screen? Because, like, I noticed, like, like, some of them were going away kind of fast because I was trying to set up, like, oh, maybe let me see if any of my stuff can interact with those.
Yeah.
And then I was just like, ah, shit, I didn't have the time to.
Yeah. Let me look at, now I just open a wiki for, like, field of photon changes. The FOFs. No. Is there, maybe there's just a game facts page that makes it easier. So, it'd be nice to just have one that's all in one place, rather than be like, oh, look at Jade's art guide, find out which specific ones he has for which elements, rather than just give me the ones for everyone.
I will say also, too, it's
Yeah.
very funny going from KH2 back to this game, because of just like, oh, this is so much more grounded. I'm not spending 10 minutes in the air.
Yeah, like, I definitely also, because, like, I think... Because definitely, I get the impression that the 3D Tales games are more grounded than, like, the 2D ones, but also this is one of the more grounded ones even among the other ones, because this one doesn't have air combos the way Symphonia does even, so...
Let me tell you though, those air combos in KH2 feel pretty good.
I do think it's interesting the way they, like... They do, like, automate Sora's combos.
Yeah.
In those games.
In
a way that kind of, like...
Oh, go ahead.
I feel like the impression I get by, like, high level people who play a lot of KH is that, like, you can kind of get a feel for you can get a feel for, like, the rules of the automatic combo, which I think is interesting.
There's definitely a bit of that going on. I'm still trying to feel it out as I play
Yeah.
KH2. The one thing that I don't like is it has made me appreciate how much, like, directional input to vary what move you're getting when you hit, like, an attack button, like, gives you a sense of accuracy and precision in something like Devil May Cry or Bayonetta. Whereas Kingdom Hearts, it's like, okay, you got, like, a couple attack buttons, and depending on your position relative to the enemy, or, like, how many attacks deep into a string you are, the context will change. And also what abilities you have equipped. But also sometimes it's just like, I just want this one specific move right now, and I kind of wish that I wasn't guessing, kind of. I mean, it's becoming less and less guesswork the more I get used to figuring out how it goes.
Like, my impression is, like, for the people who, like, are the Kingdom Hearts sickos, like, they just kind of, like, intuitively know. Like, they kind of, like, learn the rules by that point, I think.
Yeah, I can see that. The one thing that also doesn't help, though, sometimes you unlock an ability, and it's like, oh, in certain situations you get this, like, dodge slash, and, I'm just like, I'm unequipping this, because this actually is just worse than most of my normal options. I have a friend who's, like, a KH2 critical sicko, who I've been playing with, and he's he's been mostly. He's been actually kind of laughing because, like, sometimes I'll, like, bring up an observation. He's like, oh, yeah, that's why I never use this specific ability, or, oh, that's usually why I do X, Y, Z.
Yeah.
But he's been laughing watching me discover those things on my own. I'm enjoying it more than 1 so far. I think this is an extremely brain-broken opinion to have. I think the final mix editions that I'm experiencing for the first time may finally put KH2 over Chain of Memories for me.
I mean, my friends who like are KH fans, like they like KH, but like my friend was like, the original KH2 is not the game final mixes.
I mean, my memories of vanilla are very far away at this point, but Final Mix adds a lot of really cool stuff. It's it's neat. UT in the chat saying Final Mix definitely fixes a lot of the problems with vanilla. I'm actually curious what problems you had with vanilla, because it's like been so long for me that I don't actually know what the problems are. Or what they could be.
Which door is that one?
Now, Critical's been interesting to experience.
Oh. How are we gonna deal with this? But that room is locked.
Ah! I accidentally jumped. Damn, that felt good.
Nice.
There we go. That was solid.
Yeah.
Can you examine the dead
No.
guy? No, okay.
Okay.
Wait, maybe gong it now and he'll see the body?
Yeah.
Nice. Okay. Problem solving.
Interesting.
This is some Metal Gear Solid shenanigans. I'm here for it.
I played only MGS1, and I'm curious to play the other games.
Oh, you should play the other games.
I want to play VR missions as well for the MGS1.
It's all right. I'm actually not. This is a little bit heretical, but I'm not the biggest MGS1 person in the world. I like it, but like.
Yeah, I enjoyed it, but I also felt frustrated at parts.
Yeah, I don't. I like Metal Gear Solid 1 as like the story part of it and like vibes more than I actually do play. I don't care for a lot of the stealth of MGS1.
Yeah.
Also, just like a big part of stealth games to me is like hiding bodies and stuff, and that game just doesn't have that yet.
Yeah.
But also, I feel like MGS1.
How do I do this?
MGS1 kind of annoys me because I feel like the hardest part of the game is like the first hour, and then it gets gradually easier the more stuff you get. And that always kind of bothered me. Like, I just think the early part of that game's kind of annoying, and then like the later parts is just like, this is kind of too much of a cakewalk. 2 and 3 are very fun though. Power charge. Oh, okay. Wait, was that, go back, was that literally hold direction down? Okay, I was trying to make sure if it was that or hold L3.
I forget you can backstep. Try to remember that. Come back. Oh, you can tech. Okay. I can steal items better with Guy. Okay. But, yeah, I felt like there's things I appreciate about MGS1, but maybe the execution could have been better, and then there's also like I was like, I feel like I feel like I want to do VR missions because I'm like, well, it feels like they're more experimental with the mechanics in VR missions than with like the campaign.
That's
Like,
that's definitely the case for a lot of those like bonus missions, like even when it's just like the sub stuff in like 2 and 3 and stuff. Well, actually, I guess.
also, I'm also kind of curious about like Ghost Babel, just because it feels like an interesting experiment in like
it's fun.
8-bit, it like almost like arcadey room style missions structure for it, as opposed to like the other games where there isn't really like a they're not really scoring you that way.
It's a neat curiosity. The only thing I remember about Ghost Babel not caring for is like some of those bosses are just kind of dumb, but it's a fun curiosity. I recommend it.
I'll have to just miss.
I can't believe Metal Gear Solid 5 came out 9 years ago. That's fucked up.
Yeah.
That was the last video game I, like, truly no-lifed, because it was, like, I had just lost my job, and, like, if I recall, it was either, like, the start of a semester at school, or, like, right before. I think it was just, like, right at the start, so, like, not a lot was going on yet. And I'm powering up. There we go. I thought there'd be, like, an animation for that.
That'd be funny. So you just hold down? That's interesting.
Yeah, I just held down and then I glowed red. But yeah, Metal Gear Solid 5 is like the last game I truly remember. Just like, I don't have any obligations in my life right now. I'm just gonna spend an egregiously long, like hours upon hours, playing through this. And it was a great time.
I remember I no-lifed, I no-lifed, on terms of console, I remember no-lifing, Nier Automata and also Persona 5.
Oh, Nier Automata I did a little bit of, but part of that was because me and my friends wanted
because I had to, like, as I had, like, school obligations and stuff, but,
yeah.
I think the closest thing I got to the alternative to that is, like, I did with some games that stream, I do kind of like go hard on some of them when I get close to the end of them. Because I think there was like a stretch of like December and January of last year where I was just like, yeah, I went going hard on finishing Tales of Symphonia because I'm like, I was enjoying this game a lot.
Oh damn, that fucking random encounter. That was funny. Nier Automata, I remember I went through pretty fast. Part of that was because me and my friends decided we want to do like a podcast on it. But then
actually we didn't.
We did. No, we did.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Oh.
There was like 5 of us on that one.
Was this before or after the Yick podcast?
Way before, but a lot of those same people. And I remember for that one, just because I was so excited for that game, I actually imported, I believe it was the Malaysian edition. So I got it 3 weeks early, I want to say. It came out in Southeast Asia before. It had the English localization, everything in it already. But I, like, beat a lot of that game before it was even out west, and, like, people were talking about it, so that was cool.
Yeah.
Don't really get that anymore these days. Stuff's usually day and date everywhere now for, like, bigger RPGs and stuff.
Very good. Yeah, I'm just gonna not bother fighting that guy again until, I have a reason to.
It seems like a good piece of equipment.
Yeah. Much like in real life, silver armor is good for blocking things.
Speaking of silver, okay, Mel, I was having this conversation with a friend last night, and I need you to weigh in on this very important discussion as well.
Yeah.
Okay, you have 7 days to prepare. Would you rather have to fight, or I guess not even fight, would you rather have to deal with a vampire that wants to kill you or a werewolf that wants to kill you?
It's a tough question.
Especially
because I watched Kizumonogatari for the past week.
I have what I think is a pretty solid answer.
Yeah.
So in a world of like Instacart and Uber Eats and such, I don't think a vampire is all that threatening. Because if you don't leave your house and you don't let it in, what's it gonna do?
Oh, yeah, good point.
Like, you kind of have to stay inside, become a homebody forever. But, like...
Is the vampire just gonna wait for you outside?
I guess. I don't know what else it could do. But if you don't invite that fucker in, what's he gonna do?
What if he just burns your house down?
I don't know if they're allowed to do that. Let me email Stephanie Meyer.
Sparkle, sparkle. I can't go with that one.
Do I have... Okay, yeah, I do have Fang Blade still up.
It is funny that I feel like in between us streaming, the entire fortunes of the franchise that we're playing right now seems to have reversed a bit.
How so?
Well, like I think like the last time we did proper stream, I mentioned, oh yeah, my Tales of Friendship are looking forward to the Slime game. That's more of a Tales game than modern Tales games.
Oh yeah.
They seem to be announcing for the 30th anniversary. Oh, we're gonna port a bunch of the games that.
Oh yeah, because they're doing a Graces port, and then I think it also leaked that they're probably doing like the Exilia games too, right?
Funny thing is, I think they Exilia port leaked before the
Yeah.
Graces one was even announced.
Yeah. Oh shit, that's a good point, UT. Vampires might starve you out by draining out or killing all the delivery guys.
Oh, saving. I wonder what this means.
What were you saying about
Oh yeah, but
Other
it
Tales
just
stuff?
seems like they're like giving it. Well, it's like, you know, it's not the same as like a new game, but like the fact that like we're doing a remaster initiative and we're trying to like give a shit.
Yeah, that is nice. And
Especially because like
it seems like they care about making sure they're like 60 FPS and stuff now too, which is good.
yeah, unless you're on Switch, which is rip.
Yeah, I mean I'm not surprised.
Like the last Symphonia remasters on Switch and PS4. Like there's always one on Steam, though that one's like 30 FPS because of reasons. But
I thought everything but the GameCube version of that was 30.
yeah, that's the thing. Like
Yeah.
because they're all using the PS2 version as a base, they're all kind of like the logic is tied to 30.
Yeah.
Is the thing. But yeah, the apparently the Symphonia port from PS4 and Switch was like Bandai Namco Romania, and they did a bad job. But the Graces port's gonna be a Toze, who I guess is better at that stuff.
My friends like Graces for playing it, but are pretty not big fans of the story, from what I gather.
Yeah, that's how I meant. My understanding is like at best you'll get like I guess, you know, maybe you'll get some, maybe you'll like the characters, but the story is otherwise, you know, okay.
One of my friends described, I believe this was Graces F, as having one of the most frustrating protagonists in the JRPG, which I'm like morbidly curious about what that entails.
Yeah. But yeah, I know people really like the combat. Oh, come on! Oh, come on.
I like how we don't just drag the body up the stairs.
We gotta refresh the page.
Yeah, I was about to say, do we have to leave the room and come back?
Oh, no,
that's
no.
so fucking funny.
Can't believe they did this.
I love this.
No! Come on!
Oh, that's great. That's okay. We're getting we're getting XP.
I guess that's true. I'm not gonna bother erasing my. I don't know. Yeah, I'm curious. Yeah, I think like.
How do I rate? There we go. I was like, I might as well smoke this if I got it.
If Item Pro, what does that mean?
Are items you use more effective?
But yeah, when I
Alright. Go. Oh. Now. No! Okay, that's horseshit. That's actually horseshit.
What is this? What are you doing?
How? Wait,
how does this work?
Is there like a slow walk? Like, do you have to be quiet?
It might, maybe it's just, you know, I need to. What?
I don't know if this game even has that, but
What was that jump I did? Did you see that?
no, I was.
I just went flying for a sec.
Oh.
Hey!
I was trying to power up, but alas.
Yeah, this is the kind of thing where I'm like, I almost want to use save states just to like bypass the fucking annoyance. But you know, that's also its own headaches.
Alright, so as soon as he gets past the pillar on the left, I say book it. Now. Okay, I think you have to, I think we're gonna have to slow walk. I think that might be it, because he turned around.
Yeah. Here is low on TP. Which I guess is like one negative side of us just getting in these fights.
I believe in us to survive. Next time's the charm.
Alright, fellas. Try going down the stairs.
Oh, it's blocked.
Can't!
It's yellow, it's not one of the healing ones.
Yeah, I'm curious. So like Graces and like if they did around, if they also do that, the Zilly games being like available is all good, well and good, but like I think like the biggest one would be putting more of those PS2 games on. Like obviously Abyss getting released was what everyone wants.
Or like some of those aren't even localized or fan
Yeah,
translated
like
yet, too,
the
right?
stuff for like if they do Rebirth and like Destiny 2, that'd be like holy shit levels of cool. They did say specifically they also like we want to do these remasters for international markets. I think that's what they said. So like they want to go for like worldwide remasters. So
all right, slow walk.
this horseshit.
So I think as soon as he gets to the right, then turn around, you need to start slow walking up the stairs, like to the like
That's good.
upward. Because I think the like running is causing noise that's causing him to like see
Yeah,
us.
I was trying to slow walk with my analog stick, but I don't know how it's
Yeah, let's try it.
Okay, let's maybe just track this.
Is there like a hold for like to walk? Yeah, like that. Is it just analog stick depth, or is it?
Yeah, but I feel like it's like
Is it touchy?
Yeah, it's very touchy. Like, you basically have to, like, there's a trigger right there.
I wonder if we have to hit the gong when he's up there and, like, sneak past him when he goes down to investigate, maybe? Here, let's try that.
Yeah, that's gonna be.
What? Also, what's up that staircase? Like, is there anything there that we can interact with? Or, like, drop down, or... Oh, no, that's
No.
just next area.
Yeah. Ah, jeez. This is like the wildest puzzle. Like, Jesus Christ. Yeah, we don't have. We can't. It's very scripted what they're doing. Ah.
You looking something up, or...
Yes. I'm like, this sucks. uh,
Unless we have to lower that weird barrier later, and then go back and try it at some other point. But...
okay. Okay. I found out the solution.
Oh, that's silly.
Yeah. Come the fuck on. I mean, I guess, you know, clever use of the mechanics or whatever, but I didn't think to use that, because, like,
Yeah,
why would
I wouldn't have guessed that either, if I'm being honest.
Maybe that's on me, or us, but, you know. Here, did you use those items?
No.
Did you just get that TP back?
Oh, I thought you asked if I used an item. She might have used
No, I doesn't tier. Not that she can answer, but... Alright.
I'm just gonna boost up, start a combat. There we go. I don't know if that stays after I get hit, but oh well.
At some point I use my overdrive, but I mean to. Well...
Oh, speaking of. God. I'm at an unfortunate angle where I don't know if left is forward or back. There we go.
Would it be an old RPG if we didn't get needlessly stuck on one small section? All these rooms.
Plants.
So I'm like, What was the point of empty rooms in games? Like-
Maybe we'll come back here later and there might be side
Like,
quests.
on one hand, I'm like putting it for like lore reasons, like this is a real place, makes sense. But on the other hand, there's like part of me that's like, usually you want a gameplay purpose for it, right?
I mean, we might go back here later though too, and there might be stuff
Yeah.
for people. Who knows?
I don't know how you make a game with a story, to be honest. It just feels like daunting.
I think if I really, I think I can make a mean dungeon crawl, like first-person grid-based dungeon crawler if I wanted to.
I think that'd be cool. I'd be curious to see. I mean, I guess you like wizardry and SMT, so you have your.
It'd probably be a weird fuck-off mix of wizardry, old classic SMT, and a little bit of Baroque in there for good measure, mostly on vibes. But
誰もそんなこと言ってませんわ。
I'm curious how you'd feel about Etrian Odyssey whenever you got to them. Those are a series I want to play, but.
I mean, I do like what I've played of them.
ヒヨン様、
But-
大丈夫ですか？怪我は？平気です。皆さんもわざわざ来てくださって。
I do want to play the more recent collection. I think I fucked up by trying to start with Untold.
Yeah, I think fans are kind of like, I'm all told.
ただ、六人
That game also spoils, like, the one bit of, like, story to spoil that you could even possibly have with, like, the central, like, core character that they add for your party in the story mode, which I find very funny.
Yeah, I heard that, like, yeah. And also there's, like, the game isn't really balanced around,
ってことは
like, the balance gets fucked up in Untold, even when you try classic mode.
I can believe that.
I think Untold adds, like, a section, adds a new floor or something, that isn't in classic mode. But they don't fix the leveling for classic mode, I think, is the
町
thing.
外れまでで大丈夫だろう。この後のことは逃げ切ってから決めればいい。なら第四石碑だけ。
I'm debating if I want to go back and play the Dark Spire again. But not until I finish my latest Wizardry playthrough. That will probably be the one I finally use to make the
Oh, we just
video
left.
I've been trying to. Yeah, you know.
またこのメンツが揃う
That's
This is a
fine.
weird setup for one of these seeds.
これもローレライの導きなのでしょうか。
Don't worry, I'm sure we'll have a second one.
ユリアのスコアに関わるもの、各国の重要な立場の人間。偶然ではないような気もいたしますわ。
これもスコアに記されていたりするのかな。
そうかもだね。
Maybe this is fate.
ルーク、髪を切ったせいでしょうか。ずいぶん雰囲気が違いますわね。
そうか。
What if Luke had like another moment where he's like, oh, I need another transformation? He just goes bald until the end of the game.
人の性格なんて一朝一夕には変わらないもんね。
He gets like spacers.
ジェイロ
Yeah.
僕はあなたたちの言っていることに素直にうなずけませんね。ルークはもともととても優しかった。ただ、それを表に出す
Eon, listen, I think Luke, you've always been kind. Even if he caused an atrocity, it's alright.
そういうことね。さあ、こんなところでいつまでも立ち話は危険よ。
I was thinking.
I knew there was a second one. Yeah, you were saying?
Uh,
本当に戦争を起こそうとしているなんて
and I guess I need to recirculate the tapes, but I was like,
言いたい
would I
はっきり
like I like what we have, but also I'm like, would it be more interesting if he was even somehow more to blame?
お前のことをスパイなんじゃないかって。
But then I'm like, no, I do feel like there's also I think I like the narrative spice of like it is partially his fault, but also he was tricked into it by someone he trusted and looked up to. Because also then that adds the weight of this is also a personal failure, not for just the act itself, but also him.
私はどんなことが戦争だけは
And this isn't to say like people who get tricked are guilty of this, but like his dedication and willingness to believe the one guy he knows.
Yeah, like I think like
is also could be read as a personal failing, which I find
Like, I
interesting
think-
as well.
I think there's like the two-pronged where like maybe not even two-pronged, but just like there's multiple threads where you have Luke, the sheltered person, the sheltered prince who's like doesn't know the ways of the world and is kind of innocent but arrogant because of it, kind of thing.
Yeah.
And that causes friction with the other people who know the world, and who's like, "Oh, grow up, Luke." And the ways that like pushes him more in the direction of the one person who he like has always been fond of and wants respect of and
like
feels he
openly
trusts.
like reaffirms his like coddled nature, which we then learn like he has like reasons to do that, but also like it's also partially on Luke to like not retreat to the one person that allows him to be a shitty self when he is faced with tension.
And it's like you get like he's because he doesn't know the world, but everyone's like, I think the interesting wrinkle is like you learn after he's done the thing that there's actually very reasonable reasons for him to not know how the world works. That is absolutely ridiculous for most people, which is like, oh, he's actually 7 years old, but a clone. Which is like, yeah, of course he doesn't know how the fuck the world works because he's not actually like his age mentally.
Yeah.
And so everyone's like, grow up, Luke. Well, yeah, he's like 7 years old or something. But that just, it's definitely, yeah, it's interesting. It's like,
there's a lot of wrinkles to it.
And it's still the fact that he did it. He did pull the trigger, which I think is like, it's not a cop out of like they'll cop out in that way.
Yeah.
Like it's like a kind of like a more grim version. Like the more grim version of this is kind of like again like with the Berserk Griffith in the Eclipse, where it's like the circumstances have been tailored in a way where he feels pressure to say yes, but he still is the one who made the decision.
Yeah. I do. The Griffith thing always interests me too, because I feel like something, and maybe this is just me being like, because of life experience, like taking this into consideration, thinking about this element of it too, but I do feel like not enough people, when talking about how his character arc goes, also talks about that there is a pressure on Griffith just in the material sense of him choosing to do the right thing is also choosing a life of being bedridden with a broken body, like permanently.
Yeah.
Which is like a hard choice for any person to make, not to excuse what he does choose, which is being absolute evil to ascend to godhood. But
you can't. It's difficult because the things he does, like I don't know. Obviously, I've only seen Golden Age, so I don't know what happens after. But just the things he does in that moment are so monstrous, you can't really forgive that.
Yeah, it's heinous.
But also it's like
he is making a pact with the soul of evil itself.
And then really rubbing it in.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's very well written. It's very interesting.
It is.
It is funny that it's just called Berserk, though.
Oh, absolutely.
Just like, I feel like I avoided Berserk for the longest. Well, mostly the impetus for watching was like the Ghost Cyrus podcast did their season on it. But like it was interesting because like when you hear people talk about Berserk a lot of the time outside of like their main circles we're in now, you kind of get like the whole like the edgy, it's like it's the edgy dark brooding gore fest anime. And then it turns out, well, actually, it's really thoughtful in a lot of ways. It's just like using that really grim and horrific stuff to like make a broader point about.
Yeah, like to me, and I feel like this has become a cliche to say almost, but like for me, Berserk has always been a story about healing, and like after you have no reason to reasonably do that, how do you learn to just trust other people again? Which is all stuff like that's beyond the Golden Age that I personally find a lot of like resonance with even like shit that's gone wrong in my own life.
But I think even to get like Sage that and like Guts' character growth in the Golden Age too, with like him growing to like accept his found family, and then like even like he goes his own way and comes back. It's like, actually maybe this is where I'm supposed to be, kind of thing.
And I do, like I also like the added wrinkle of that where it's like sometimes you have to, even when things don't work out, like, still be able to open your heart up to things, even if things have gone disastrously wrong in the past as well. Like, eventually you'll find something that sticks, or, like, even if
Yeah.
it doesn't, like, that's not an excuse to give up and become cold to the world.
Yeah. I think it's also interesting about that is like,
I think you can progress the text box.
yeah, I just, I was pausing because I was talking.
I don't want to kill the flow too much if they're...
Yeah. Welcome to Berserk Podcast. by the way.
Yeah. Do you know of the thing in Berserk that is called Berserk, even vaguely?
I mean Guts.
No, there's a thing that has the name Berserk in it. In Berserk.
I think I saw at some point because I was like looking stuff up because I was like, oh, well, I'm Berserk pilled now.
Yeah.
Like I think I saw there's like a kind of armor with this thing.
Yes. That.
And I think I also know the name of the character who like solves the situation of, well, I guess you're in hell now at the end of the anime.
Yeah.
Who is not in that anime?
Nope.
I guess if you're not going to show how they get out anyway, you may as well not introduce the guy. It's fine.
Yeah, he is mostly there.
I presume it did its job at selling the manga.
He is mostly there for seeding things. I don't want to say too much because you're gonna read the manga, obviously.
Yeah.
But that character makes for he is actually one of my favorite characters in the work. And it's specifically in how he serves as, I don't know if I also not want to necessarily say a foil to Guts, but a parallel to Guts, that they do some really interesting stuff with.
Okay.
Serpico, probably my favorite guy in all of Berserk. Shirka, close second. But they'll come later. Guts gets a good party. of cool and fun and interesting people.
Yeah.
Not a bad one in the bunch, IMO. I remember this hill. I remember his shockingly radiant clothes.
公の場でイオン様を拉致するような真似はできないのだと。でも、この後どうしますか?
Speaking of manga, I do think it's funny that Red and I independently came to the same conclusion about Fullmetal Alchemist.
I should give that a read. It's been so long since I watched either of the anime.
Like, Red finished, like, I think a week and a half before I did. And I was like, oh, that's a little harsh, isn't it? And then I finished it, I was like, no, it's exactly as, it's very reasonable, without what you're saying, actually. I do think that second half is a lot goofier, than the first. Goofier in terms of, like, not, like, the first half is more comedic, but the second half, I think, is goofier in what it's putting on the table. And expecting me to treat seriously.
バチカルへ行って叔父上を止めればいいんじゃない?
If that makes sense.
Yeah, I could see it. It's, again, I only have the broad strokes still with me at this point.
Yeah.
But
忘れたの?
I do mostly want to revisit it also because I do want to figure out if I'm more of the manga / Brotherhood is better person, or I like the changes the original adaptation makes person.
Yeah.
I have friends who are very split on either side of that very strongly. I lean more manga / Brotherhood, I think, but again, it's been a while since I have spent time with either one.
I should read Golem Kamui.
See, my thing with, like, anything kind of shonen-y right now is I'm like...
Is that shonen?
No, I mean like FMA.
Oh, okay, so you're so... Yeah. I just made a straight thought, but yeah. Go ahead.
Is like... I could just watch Yu Yu Hakusho right now and have a good time, you know?
Yeah. I feel like I'm... I feel like for the most, like, obviously I'm going through Dragon Ball a bit and I'm enjoying that. It's fun, but also I feel like for the most part I'm like, I just don't care about shonen stuff for most of it.
Same. Like
I'm just like-
I had a friend who recently was like, "When are you going to hop on JJK?" And I was like, "Probably never. I have no
I don't.
interest."
I don't care about JJK. I never.
Yeah.
I think like I had my fill, with like. There was a brief period where I was like, "Oh man, I like My Hero Academia," and then I stopped caring, and then I'm good.
Yeah,
I'm good.
My Hero was, I think, the last one of those where I'm like, I've seen enough of these, and like,
And like for me, because I hadn't done Naruto or Bleach, like My Hero at least felt fresh for me. Because like I was like, oh, I haven't seen the thing that it's doing exactly from Naruto.
yeah,
And I think also just like Fullmetal Alchemist reaffirmed that like I'm not about that life. Like the things I like about FMA are not the shonen battle stuff, by any stretch.
yeah. Yu Yu Hakusho is the one I want to go back to because I watched it when I was younger, but I like know for a fact I didn't watch all of it, or at the very least, if I did, like a bunch of it did not stick with me.
Yeah, I think if I was to do 3 only, if I had to pick the 3, I would do like Dragon Ball, obviously.
Yeah, I mean, classic, amazing.
Yeah.
Above
I'm like-
everything else in the space.
Yeah, like I'm gonna read the manga and like maybe I'll do the anime, maybe. I don't know. We'll see. And then probably Yu Yu Hakusho, and then probably also Hunter x Hunter.
I might do Hunter x Hunter at some point in my life. The fact that it's probably never going to be completed, I'm not going to lie, does make me, like, care less. But,
Yeah, like Berserk. Well, actually, Berserk's.
see, I don't want to say too much. If no more Berserk had came out after we got the final chapter, I think it would have been good.
Yeah,
Um,
I think that's the impression I get is from Berserk fans is like I don't know what we're doing now. Like they feel like, yeah, this is a decent. If he was gonna die and the story had to end anywhere, I guess it's as good a place as any.
the last 2 chapters, the one we got, like, both, like, the last one he worked on and the last one that was out at the time of his death, I both feel like leave off on very different notes, but I do also feel like both give you enough of an impression of, like, we hit a lot of the big thematic points that Miro wanted to hit, and like I'm not gonna lie, even if like the specific plot beats aren't clear, I feel like you already can kind of tell what the last part of that series is going to be, and
Like you can see the arc.
mostly, yeah, like I feel like the big thematic statements have mostly hit what they need to hit,
Yeah,
even if the confrontations between the characters aren't necessarily there. Like, you kind of have a feeling of what the series is as a whole, like, and the statement it's making.
Yeah.
And, like, I'm not gonna lie, like, I do enjoy the stuff they've been doing since, like, I've been keeping up with it, and I think it's mostly, like, you can tell it's not the same, but I feel like it's mostly close enough, and, like,
yeah.
it's there that I'm enjoying it, but also, like, if they hadn't, I would have been completely fine just being like, yeah, like, I feel like I get what they probably would have done.
I think all things considered, it feels like the best case scenario for things to happen.
Yeah, no, and
Well, like,
it helps
the-
the fact that it's like his best friend.
Yeah, like it's
doing
his
it
best
too.
friend and the people who study under him continuing
Yeah.
the series based on like what they know personally about where you would want it to go.
Yeah,
And I think you can have it's like the best of both worlds, where it's like the best possible team to continue it, and they seem capable of doing it, but also for the people who just feel like either they emotionally like they can't bring themselves to go any further, or they still feel like it's not the same. They can tell.
yeah.
That it ends on the point like there where it's like, oh wait, you can this
you
is a
can
decent
stop
enough.
there. Yeah,
I think yeah. So I think for me, because I'm coming at this after he died, like reasonably, like a distance from after he died, even like not even fresh after he died. I'm in a position where I'm just based on all this information, I'm willing to just like keep going and see how post Mira is. Whereas like I think some people maybe who are like more established fans, either they may be like, well, I'm gonna at least wait until it's done before I actually bother with the new stuff. I think some of them do.
yeah.
And I think that's valid. But
I'm getting fucked up by these wasps. There we go.
yeah, I should. I didn't remember how Natalia works because she's a bow and that's like weird.
Oh no!
Also,
My left and right keep switching. There we go.
Also, think again.
I need a free run more. Let's see. There we go.
Yeah, I got you. I remember where Natalia also
There we go.
It is.
And then
it is
it's
kind of funny. Maybe not surprising, but it's kind of funny. I enjoyed Apothecary Diaries more than Free Run.
I need to get back. Well, I need to start Apothecary. I need to get back to Free Run. I enjoyed what I read, but
I enjoyed Free Run obviously, but I just felt like, oh, Apothecary Diaries is doing more of the stuff that I care about.
that makes sense. They seem very different.
Yeah.
Isn't Apothecary Diaries person like mangaka going to like serving time for a bit because tax reasons?
Yeah, but it's a novel first, so it's like a manga adaptation of a novel. So.
Oh, okay. So it's not like the original.
Yeah,
author.
the source material
Okay.
is novels.
Okay. Also, aren't there 2 manga adaptations, and like one is kind of like coming out over here, but the other one isn't, or something?
I don't.
There's like a weird thing with the adaptations, I know. Where like I think there's 2 manga adaptations, and one like the anime's based off one, not the other, and like I think one of those manga adaptations is like translated here, and like the other isn't, or something.
Yeah, the one of the weirdest things for me is like manga adaptations of light novels. Because I feel like it gets like weird and confusing.
One of my favorite things on planet Earth is the manga of the anime adaptation of Devil Survivor 2, the video game, where I'm just like, what are you doing? Not helped by the fact that there is also a manga of the video game.
No! I think one of the weirdest ones for me that we've talked about, I think in the same conversation you brought that up for the first time, is, you know, there's a Persona 4 animation and then a Persona 4 Golden animation.
I'm like off the screen. Where the fuck am I?
Yeah.
Wait, hold on. I think I lost control. There we go.
This is, I guess, what happens when we get ambushed.
Oh wait, no, yeah, I'm Anise, duh.
Yeah.
Okay, I was like, oh yeah, I'm Luke. But no, that's right, it scrambles the party order.
Except for me, apparently.
Well, yeah, that makes sense.
I don't know why, yeah.
I feel like they should make that not happen when you're player 2.
Yeah. I think it's like, they obviously put player 2 as a thing, because that's just like been a thing in the series, and it's cool. But also, they're assuming most people are playing P1, and maybe they don't put
I will say there's a lot of little combat things I need to forgive, because there is a weird P2 tax where, like when you were switching targets before, it kept switching my direction, and when it gets to the point where, like, a character, like, when my character is vertically above on the screen, I don't know how to describe this, but, like, my left and right get swapped, and, like, it can be hard to gauge when that's happening, and because all the camera's dependent on the first, like, single first player, like, I just have no way, I just have to adapt. It's very awkward, but, you know, so it goes.
Yeah.
It's just funky, but
yeah, that's something I feel like I want to maybe try and experience myself a bit, just to like wrap my head around it, just because I am been in the privileged P1 scene, so I basically have not had that experience at all. So I'm like, I don't know how that works. I feel like there has to be a way to make it work, or else that'd be a thing more people complain about.
I don't know how many people play these 2-player.
Yeah,
like,
it might be just a thing where it's like some people play P2-player like casually, and then like out of no eyes, it's just like the gameplay sickos, and the gameplay sickos are not representative of most of like people who play Tales games.
Well, like, also, too, like, I feel like when I hear about people talking about Tales of multiplayer, it's, oh yeah, me and my friends were in middle school, we cracked open the Doritos and gummy worms, and we all played
Yeah,
four-player
that's what I meant by
Symphonia.
casually. Like, it's like, you know, kids like you go to your friend's house and like, oh hey, there's an RPG you can play.
And like you're just smashing buttons, having a good time. You're not
Yeah.
you're not concerned about like, oh, I need to land this fucking sick ass chain.
Like there's a difference between like, you know, you go into your bro's house and you're playing co-op on like a, you know, Saturday afternoon.
And you go into your sis's parsec
Yeah.
for 2p
Yeah.
on a stream.
Yeah. Versus like, you know, like, you know, the people who are like more into the combat, who are like purposely, hey, we're gonna do combat stuff. And I've heard like there's a mechanic in Zillia games which doesn't work as well. It kind of like kneecaps a bit like trying to do 4-player co-op, because like it's a thing where like you basically like you can activate like a dual party, a dual combo link thing. There's a link mechanic where like you, I don't know how to describe it, but like there's like you do this thing where you like or do a link mechanic with like one of your party members, and then you do like, you know, when like Marvel vs. Capcom 1 where you have to do the crossover attack thing.
Yeah.
You do that, but that hijacks control of that character, which
Oh.
means which means if player 2 is using that character, they can't use their character for a bit, which is like, I don't know about this.
That was me watching my friends play the 2XKO beta, where like playing a tag game where like actually all of the characters are individually someone else, and like you have to tag someone else in and then like trust that they'll like finish the combo you started. I'm like, that's a lot of cross communication collaboration required.
Yeah.
I wonder, there has to be a KOF that does that, where you can play with 6 people and each person has a character, right? That seems like a thing they would have
Strive
done
is
at some
doing it at the
point.
moment, right?
Oh yeah, I guess Strive's doing that, huh?
I haven't tried it, but I guess now I own Strive on Steam, so I could try it.
I have not played that game in fucking forever. I don't know.
Me neither.
I'm gonna be honest also too. So you know, during Combo Breaker, people were talking about the smell, capital T, capital S.
Is it coming from the Strive players too?
It was from my experience, it was mostly coming from the Strive setups.
Are Xrd players more washed?
I didn't see any extra players because they're ghosts who hang out in Discord servers.
It's weird because my locals is like
Plus, our setups were fine though.
my locals, the town. We seem to be a Guilty Gear town, and that there's like obviously there's always Strive players, but there's also always Xrd players at my locals. Like I guess that if you want to come to my town and play Xrd, you're gonna have people who are there, which I think is interesting.
I want to give. I've been saying this for months now, and I still haven't. But I want to learn Plus R. I have a friend who's pretty into it and has a mean Milia. But it seems like a fun time.
Like, Plus R is like kind of like the first game that got me into fighting games.
I can see that. It has a vibe to it. Actually, I am really keen to with all the Capcom re-releases happening, I might spend more time with Marvel too.
Yeah.
I don't know how long I'm actually gonna reasonably stick around with that, just cause like that game's in a weird spot where there's just like only so many setups at like a high level that like you can really actually compete with, but also like there seems to have been a concentrated effort in recent times to like make tournaments with like ratio systems and like, you know, play around just for the sake of variety and like playing with some of the characters that are like A and B tier more so. That like I'd like to play around with that and get some more experience with that, just because I've played enough Marvel 3 that like it'd be nice to see what's up with 2 as well, more so. But CVS 2 is a game that I think I could get really into if I wanted to as well.
I am excited for that collection. I am a bit bummed that the first Rival Schools is not on there, but
I'm shocked that they have Project Justice on that, but like I kind of figured you could make like I feel like you could do a collection that's mostly Rival School stuff and like get away with it, you know?
yeah, like my thinking was like
But the fact
my
that
head,
that game's
I-
there makes me believe they're probably not thinking about doing that.
Yeah, in my head, I had like a hypothetical Hideaki Itsuno 3D fighter collection, which was like Rival Schools and Power Stone. And this is kind of it, because he also, he also did CBS 2, which is funny enough. But like, Rival Schools 1 and Star Gladiator being missing feels weird, and like I think for the Plasma Sword, it's more of a replacement, but like Rival School 1 feels a bit more like a mission, I think.
I
I don't know where the fuck I'm going. I gotta be honest.
when I did
Chat, someone tell me where the fuck I'm going.
look
could
at
have,
the
like-
look at the log again. There might be direction. But when I think it was Frosty Faustein's Day to CVS2 camp. I've touched CVS2 a bit on Fightcade with friends and stuff like that. There was a CVS2 cab at Frosty's that I remember because I was on the Soul Calibur machine and I was playing some dude, and like it was me and my friends on the Soul Calibur machine. Then this other group came up and we were playing Soul Calibur and stuff. And then this one dude, two other people hopped on Soul Calibur, was like, "Bro, no one's on the CVS2 cab. Let's play CVS2." Then we sat down to play CVS2, and then we played a match, and he barely beat me. And then he like dug into his backpack and he's like, "Bro, do you want some?" He's like, "Bro, do you want some tequila?" And I was like, "I'm good, man." He's like, "Come on!" And I was like, "I think I'm fine." And then
I want to play more CVS.
he took a big swig of tequila, and I was like, "This dude's having a great time."
Yeah. CVS 2 seems cool. It's interesting hearing people describe it as kind of like the. I think like Max described it in a recent video on his channel where it was like, at the time it came out, it was the ultimate Street Fighter game. When some people were like less into Third Strike because of how different it felt, which is interesting.
One of my favorite writers and thinkers in the space of fighting games is Pat the Flip. Does YouTube stuff sometimes, but also mostly I know
Does
him.
Medium articles.
Yes, for his articles. He did one covering. I mean, he's a big CVS2 fan. He's also buddies with my friend Johnson, which is how I mostly know his stuff. But he wrote about CVS2 in a way kind of being like the apex of old school fighting game stuff, both in design philosophy, but also as literally like that game is a greatest hits of both SNK and Capcom games. And like how it scratches an itch because of that as well. Also, I'm just a big fan of how that game looks. I think the aesthetic of that game is phenomenal. I adore like the like yellow diamond stuff that they got going on, and just the music. It's a vibe.
CVS 2 and Mark of the Wolves, the most yellow fighting games.
Yes. I'm like actually getting really. The more they show off the new Fatal Fury, the more I'm like, maybe I should hop on that too. I spent some time with KOF 15, and I still maybe want to give that more of a go at some point. But like, it's actually my friend Johnson just did a really good thread recently because KOF 15's on sale. About like, hey, here's how you can get into KOF 15 as a new player. It's not that hard, I promise. And I should maybe take some of that advice and give it more of a go. But also part of me is like, maybe I should wait and just like Fatal Fury should be my big jump into playing SNK a lot.
It might be easier to get into Fatal Fury than KOF. Even like KOF is obviously the big one, but like
yeah, I mean it's just simpler. Though also, according to my friend Johnson, it may be less work learning 3 KOF characters than you may think at first appearance.
I mean, I think
there is a lot of universal stuff that seems to carry over, especially with the modern
I think
games.
it's like they probably have to understand like if the game is built around having 3 characters on a team, it's going to like increase the cognitive load, and so they need to make the cognitive load lighter.
Yeah. I think I'm, like, still minorly depressed that we will probably never, like... Well, this might be the case for the Hunter x Hunter game. I actually can't remember off the top of my head, but I want a tag game with incoming mix-ups back. Please, so bad. I understand why that's kind of fell out of favor. It makes the new player experience a fucking nightmare, but let me tell you, in Marvel 3, when you pull some horseshit on someone as soon as their character dies, and then the second one comes in, then you get a combo that just either kills them or brings their second character to half health, it feels wonderful. Marvel 3 is bullshit. I fucking love that game.
ここからだと停泊可能な港で一番近いのはケテルブルク港です。
Keterberg.
じゃあそこ行こう。いいだろ、ジェド。
Mew still bopping.
Yeah, bopping. Mew's also bopping.
Yo, Dalmatian.
Have you got enough of those in Cage?
I was about to say, I never want to see another goddamn Dalmatian in my life.
I think the funniest thing about Cage Dalmatians is there's like, you have to find all 101 Dalmatians. They're in sets of 3.
Yes, and not only that, hey, we alternate between giving you really cool awards and parts for the Gummy Ship minigame that fucking sucks, and actually customizing is a pain in the ass, so you're never gonna do it. Oh my god, Gummy Ship in 2, so much better.
I think it's cool that they went out of their way for Cage 3 to say, yeah, you know who worked on this? The Einhander guys? Those guys are still here.
Oh, really? That's funny.
Yeah. I don't know if those guys were also working the Gummy Ships for, like, the other games, but, like, the fact they called out Einhander for, like, Cage 3 is pretty cool to me.
You know what really fucked me up? I won't say too much. This is a very minor detail. It doesn't actually matter. But in one of the Ansem reports, they give you lore on what the Gummy Ships are made out of.
Is it Gummy?
It's, so when in Kingdom Hearts world, when a world's, like, barrier breaks and it opens up to the broader Kingdom Hearts universe, there's, like, a firmament that breaks apart, and that's what the gummy blocks are made out of. I was like, it's fascinating to me that they felt the need to explain this, but I appreciate that they did.
それも知事に報告して頼みましょう。よし。じゃあケテルブルクへ急ごう。
I'm gonna down.
This also makes me imagine Ansem, Seeker of Darkness in a lab somewhere, poking at, like, a little gummy block, going like, ah, fascinating, you could build things using this. Shoutouts to Ansem, Seeker of Darkness. Love that guy. Honestly, I think I'm a bigger fan of him than Xemnas. I might still be a Cage 1 story person over a Cage 2 story person. That is one thing I will say.
I really want to... I think I have, like, multiple motivations for doing Cage, and one of them is...
Seeing how you feel about the story.
Yeah, one of them is gameplay seems cool. Other ones, see how I feel about the story, because it's like... You have people who earnestly enjoy it. And you also have people who use it as like a gag.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I feel like there's probably ways where it feels obfuscated because of like proper nouns that make it complex, but it may also just be simpler than people give it credit for.
I think what I personally ran into, which is very funny, is I'm now at the part of KH2 where I am now at the part of the KH2 replay as an adult where I am getting to the story sequences that I remember playing as a kid and just going like, oh, this is, like, dumb now. And they made this way more complex than they needed to, and I started to react negatively to it, and it made me, like, kind of drop the series until now. I am now approaching that stuff as an adult, and I think I'm also reacting to it negatively, but for different reasons, which has been interesting. I think I like it more than from when I was a kid. This is also one of the songs of all time. This is peak RPG minigame music. I love this.
Sokoban time.
But yeah, I think KH2, where I'm at with it now, and I'm curious how I feel about it when I wrap up the story, is that they went from telling a pretty simple children's narrative that I think lands pretty solidly in KH1 to suddenly dropping a bunch of characters, all with more distinct personalities, at once into the narrative. And I think there's maybe struggling a little bit to juggle making that work.
Yeah.
I also think that there's a concentrated effort to play with the morality of what started as a very simple, not necessarily simple, but like KH1 and Chain of Memories is like light versus darkness with some foibles in between and room for like maybe the darkness isn't all bad and it's something that you can like live with, and like as long as you don't let it consume you, there's like something to be had about like living with it. And then KH2 really wants to play around with morality and the sense of right and wrong in a way that I actually think is just not very good. So.
Okay. Anyway, I hope you guys like Sokoban.
I've been trying to solve the puzzle watching you do this, and I'm not gonna lie, I don't think I don't know what you're supposed to do here.
I think
See,
you're trying to get all the chests.
It's funny you say that, Saxor, in the chat, because I'm seeing, as I, like, have, like, looked up more stuff about KH2, I'm seeing a lot of people. It seems like there's, like, a not insignificant amount of people that are like, yeah, I kind of wish that the Sora gang story got wrapped up with KH2, and then the other games were just about, like, different stuff. And I'm curious how I feel about that, because, like, I've never played the stuff post-2, really. But yeah, like, I borrowed a friend's copy of, like, 358 over 2 and, like, played a little bit of it, but, like, I didn't really, like, play a bunch of it, right? So, like, I'm pretty, like, I'm gonna go into the story of, like, everything post-2 pretty fresh, and I'm curious how I feel about it. So are you just supposed to get all the chests?
Yeah.
Okay. I have one friend who I refer to as my Kingdom Hearts friends, and she told me that I may like the story of 2 more after I play 358. So I'm curious about that. I will say, I tweeted about this a little bit. I'm a little baffled by how the popular conversation about KH2 level design is, like, seems to be expressed on the internet these days.
How so?
So, like, going into KH2, one thing I knew about it is, like, yeah, it's a lot, like, they doubled down on, like, the action stuff, and, like, as a result, a lot of the worlds are very flat, like, basically just combat arenas stitched together.
Yeah.
And, like, it kind of loses some personality because of that. But, like, what nobody told me is that, like, a lot of those combat arena fights, like, have, like, unique, like, oh, like, you have to protect this person, or, oh, you have to escort this person, or, oh, there's this gauge that you have to fill up that does this when it, like, is full. Like, they do a lot to actually, like, vary up the fights between the worlds. And I actually think it gives it a little bit more personality than people give it credit for. I was expecting way worse, I guess. But yeah, ironically, I feel like I actually kind of prefer the worlds in 2 in a way, because I actually think that the amount of, like, actual, like, cutscene direction and, like, frequency of story scenes and, like, those individual elements that, like, actually give them more mechanical differences versus, like, KH1. Towards the end of KH1, all of the worlds kind of started to feel a little bit like a checklist to me, and part of that might just be because I was doing the collectathon stuff. But I was like, damn, I actually feel like the Worlds in 2 stand out to me just a little bit more in terms of having more, like, unique identity to them. Yeah, like, they do have, like, stuff like that, too. Or, like, the Chandelier in Beast Castle, where, like, you can play around with some of the stuff in the environment. Or, like, even the skateboards in Twilight Town, like, do a lot to add, like, you know, a little bit of character.
Okay, so
I think you did it.
the thing is, there's
Is there still one left?
one over here.
There has to be one that you can push into...
Oh yeah, I think I know.
Yeah, you got it, you got it.
I was like, I basically solved it
Yeah.
before, and I just like double guessed myself. No, wait,
No, you need to push it from the other side.
yeah.
I'm getting... Oh, God. You never played Nocturne, right?
No, not yet.
Okay, I'm getting...
I played an hour of it on Switch.
Do you,
which,
do you know about the stupid... Oh, don't play the Switch port if you can help
I
it.
know. I'm gonna probably emulate it on PS2.
Okay.
For real.
Based
Based on your advice.
Yeah, I would do that.
Damn. That sounds good. That sounds good.
But oh, what was it? Oh yeah, no. There's a puzzle mini game that you have to do if you want to 100% complete that game. That is fun for a bit until it's not fun. I recommend using a guide for that as soon as you're just like, that's it, I'm done.
This guy's still depressed. What's up with that? No, he's still.
Snow is so neat. Me and Mel looking directly at the camera.
What is a dance?
You know, that's just what people in snowy environments do.
One thing I liked in Symphonia is if you switch to the female lead Colette, you could talk to every dog and she gives all the dogs a name.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah. The flip side of that is if you talk to every female character as Zelos, he flirts with them and they give him an item.
Speaking of NPC dialogue, Mel, I think after my Kingdom Hearts journey, I might become the Trails person. I might take that dive.
I want to take the dive myself. I'm thinking I should at some point.
So the thing that made
I
me...
have Sky 1 on my backlog bingo, which is not probably happening this year, but you know.
The thing that made me go, okay, maybe it's time. Well, one, the Crossspell duology came out, like, officially in English, and I was like, okay, that there was a gap there that's no longer there. But...
And hold on, first, you can reach the Silver World of Keterberg from here.
Yeah, you know.
Silver World, that's crazy. Anyway, go on.
It's like Pokemon Gold World and Pokemon Silver World. We can catch Lugia there. But I was always under the impression, and maybe this used to be the case and then it changed, that it was originally planned to be a 20-game series.
Yeah.
But then recently, I think there was an interview for the latest game that's coming out in Japan, and the guy was like, yeah, the series is basically at the 90% complete mark. We don't have much longer to go. And I was like, oh fuck, maybe that means it's time for me to catch up.
Yeah.
Because it sounds like it's not going to actually be a full 20.
It's one of those things where I'm like, it is... You know, I have Cage, Like a Dragon, and this as like the three big things where I'm like, well, I want to play them. And there's a lot of them.
I'm having fun with Yakuza 1. That's a game like every week or so I'm like playing it 1 or 2 hours of, having a good time, then putting it down. That localization, very hilarious.
I'm not going to start Yakuza 1 until I actually go back and finish Shenmue, which I should do, now that I'm back in my place.
I should also play Shenmue.
I started it because I wanted to listen to that Wonder Normal Mapping, and now I'm going to finish it, hopefully, at some point, and I can actually listen to that episode.
Shenmue seems neat. I've like, forever ago at like... I had like one friend growing up who had a Dreamcast, and I remember like seeing a little bit of Shenmue and being like, "This seems cool."
Yeah.
But I now also own a Dreamcast. I have never used it because I'm still trying to figure out like the best way to hack it so I can like pirate shit on there.
Yeah, first love.
There seems to not be a cheap solution for that, which I'm a little bit surprised by.
Which is funny because I'm pretty sure piracy was one of the reasons that like
Yes, but from what I gather, you don't... I think I read something like you don't really want to use modern... Like, the discs that they produce now, I don't think you either can or you don't want to use for Dreamcast piracy, from what I read. Because it's not really meant for it, and I think it ruins your disc reader. That might be bullshit, but... Because that was my thought, too. I was like, oh, I'll just burn everything. And it seems like that maybe isn't the way to go.
結局その人は身分違いだったために陛下とは結ばれませんでした。ですから陛下はなかなか結婚
oh, we got a monarchy.
切ない話ですわ。ズッキューン。アニスちゃん感動。報われない恋だったのね。
ってことはここに遊ぶ施設が多いのも初恋の人のためか。
いえ、それは単に陛下
That was pretty good.
I feel like there's Anise had a line there that was like definitely way longer than
What the translation said it was.
yeah. Do I even need to go to? I guess I could go to the lane.
It still fucks me up. Do you know this? So I've never hacked or dicked around with like a hacked PS2, really. My friend had one, so I have some experience. But it seems like the modern day solution people use for PS2, like on console, like piracy, is you actually send the games through an Ethernet cable, like directly to the console.
That's interesting.
Yeah,
Okay, hold-
which
That's,
I'm like, huh, that's fascinating.
Okay, let's see.
Don't we have a cloak we want to put on someone?
Jeez.
Let's look at what's the description for Rebirth Doll? That sounds creepy. Nice.
I wonder if it gets used up.
Yeah, like the way that's worded, I'm like, is that a consumable or is it like a once per encounter thing or what?
Yeah. Let's peruse the wares.
Oh, a friend told me about this. I'm curious if do you know about the like? So in KH3 they have a thing called a Kupo coin, which is like a free revive item. I guess you can have one of at a time. Apparently the DLC super boss of that game, if you have one in your inventory, can just steal it, and then get a free revive if you kill him.
That's funny.
And I'm like, that is actually one of the best jokes I think I've like heard of a JRPG boss having.
Okay. We should get some stuff, right? Armor everyone up.
Yeah, that's not the worst idea.
I think we got money now, so.
Yeah, we got bank.
But it's also like not like Okay, so return, go to equip.
Speaking of arcade cabs, someone in my chat's joking about not having a Japanese MVC2 cab. Mel, have I told you the story about this fucking candy cab replica thing that, like, a company is making that, like, they keep delaying that I have a pre-order in for?
I don't remember if you said that.
Have you ever seen those big red, like, I can't remember, are they, like, MVC, or, MV, or MSVX cabs, I think is the name of it, that, basically, there's this company called Unico, and they have this, like, SNK, like, replica cab thing that you can buy right now that has, like, 40 to 50 games, I want to say, on it. It's, like, a big red, like, SNK cab. Known to be pretty good quality. Like, in the home arcade scene, people are like, if you're gonna get, like, a not-an-actual cab, like, and you're getting, like, a modern replica thing, like, those are one of the ones that are higher recommended.
Mm-hmm.
And they recently, and by recently I mean last year, were like, hey, we're gonna start selling, like, sit-down candy cab replicas. And, like, there's nothing inside of it, like, you have to provide the innards. Like, I'm personally planning on using a spare laptop to, run RetroArch through. Or whatever emulator. but it was supposed to come out, I want to say, in June, and we're now in September. And they keep being like, "Oh, haha, it's they're coming."
Oh boy.
And those were not cheap. So I'm kind of mad, but
I want to gamble a bit.
yes, we're gonna hit it big.
I think there was like a weapon in order to fight one of the secret bosses. There's like cursed weapons in Symphonias, and one of them he got for like getting a lot of coins at casino, and I was like, this is miserable.
Did you do it?
I did it by just having a lot of money and exchanging my money for tokens,
Nice.
which is a lot better than trying to play poker.
Does this game? I forget if I've asked. Does this game have like secret boss stuff that we're doing?
I haven't checked.
Okay, I would be keen to do it if it's an option, just because I
Yeah,
like to do that. But
I'm just also not sure how much prep work we have to do. We'd have to like probably look more into like the AD seals and stuff like that to actually like, you know, get our stats in a good light for that stuff, or like learn the skills, get our stats good, learn the arts. But you know, we'll figure it out.
yeah,
I don't know how far along in the game we are. I see we're around the halfway point at this point.
we need to look up episode summaries of the anime episodes and see what episode deep we are in. Was that a full 50 episodes, or was that like 26?
25.
25. Okay.
Symphonia had like a weird like 8-episode OVA, but I feel like the 25 episode anime is probably the better treatment of the story for.
I'd assume so. Which would I rather get first, the Marvel collection or the second Fighting collection? I mean, probably Marvel, because I, like, have more experience with those games and am more interested in them, but, like, you can't go wrong with either one, I don't think.
The important thing is the Marvel ones come out first. The decision's made for you anyway.
I'm buying the Marvel collection physically, simply because I don't trust that to always be available. And I feel like it might be an investment.
That's wise.
I usually don't do that, but with that one, I'm like, you know what's weird? I actually stumbled my way into owning physically one of the more rare PS4 games. It's like a old like boomer shooter style roguelite called is it Strafe? I think it's called Strafe. It's not a very good game. I was actually very disappointed in it, but it had a very limited run physically. It's like an indie thing, so it was like through one of those like boutique publishers. And like I think it's worth like $50 to $70 now, and like I bought it for not that much. Not a very good game though, but every so often I'm like, damn, I should just sell this. But also it's kind of fun having it, just for the novelty.
Oh yeah, updating a Luke's status.
Replica model. Damn, she still only got the one.
Yeah,
There's a lot of blanks for how far we are.
I think that's because a lot of them are like optional. The way like some friends have described to me is that titles are often kind of like achievements, where it's like some you just get from doing the story, but some you get from like just doing fun stuff.
Yeah.
And sometimes that's tied into like skits, cause like skits are almost like achievements too. Like they're like little extra stuff that you go out of the way to do, just because you know. But also, I think in this game the titles don't affect your stats at all.
Hey, did you say in some of the other ones, like, it actually has, like, an impact on, like, passive
Yeah, like, I think in
abilities and
Symphonia,
stats and stuff?
the rate of stat growth depends on which stats in title you have, like, some of them more than others. I think some 3D games also titles get tied to costumes as well, like, if you, because, you know, they can do that with 3D models.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's go to the casino.
Gambling.
Okay, how many chips are we gonna get? Not gonna trade grade, jeez.
I'm surprised they accept.
I mean, yeah. Chips. How many am I gonna get?
Let's start with 10.
10.
10 seems like a good starting.
Okay. Let's peruse.
When the cab I'm waiting on comes, will it be in my face cam background? Yes, just barely. Like, right there, I'm planning on putting it to the side of the pinball machine.
Oh, we're not allowed to play as slots.
Though, actually, thinking about it, I might move some of these around. We'll see how I want it set up.
Alright, what's this game? Neferball. You choose 5 numbers from 0 to 30. Alright, let's go.
Play it.
How many chips? I'll do 1, just because, I don't want to... I want to peruse.
That
this
trial
game.
run, yeah.
Yeah. Which
2!
ones?
Red 2, that's my lucky color and my lucky number.
Okay. 7.
22. The red 22 is like double the luck. 2 twos. I'm becoming a numerology guy before our very eyes. You can
We
pick
were
the
already
other
in
ones.
numerology with our Ultra 7 podcast.
Yeah.
What's another one?
Yeah, the pinball, it's just like a
30 is
small
Inhuman.
virtual pinball machine thing. It's alright.
Alright. You can pick the last one.
Oh, let's do 19. Stephen King would be happy.
Choose different balls. Okay, let's go. Okay.
What?
What?
Okay. Okay.
Alright.
We're making profits so far.
Yeah. What are the prizes anyway? Let's look at the prizes. Okay. I think Undyne is a summon. Unless I'm wrong.
That sounds like a summon name.
So, Soul Steel. Wizard Kane. Okay. Yeah. Alright, let's play poker. You know how to play poker?
It's been a minute, I'm not gonna lie. Like, vaguely have the...
Up to 10 to Alright, let's bet 2. Play rules. Jokers.
Progress on rebrand video. I'm kind of working on it. I mean, it's not really a rebrand video at this point. I'm just kind of talking about why I haven't been making shit on the internet and instead just living a life because it's more fulfilling than making YouTube videos, if I'm being honest. But
I like making stuff, but videos making sounds especially hard.
it's just... I don't know. There's a point where it's like you kind of have to ask yourself, why are you doing this? And I think a lot of what I wanted out of this, I kind of got by just like doing stuff in person.
How does this work? Oh, wait, that's stupid. I'll bet 1. I was...
Yay!
Double up.
Double up. 90% of gamblers quit before they hit it big.
Is the dex card high or low? Binary search high.
Yes, one more. One more.
Low. No, I'm good.
Yeah, we're good.
See, this is why I'm not a gacha game person. Because I'm not a gambler.
Me looking at the next Honkai Star Rail banner, which is the first time they're doing a triple rerun banner, and there are 4 characters available next patch that all of whom I want.
Oh, which ones?
Black Swan, who's probably my favorite character in the game, design-wise. Kafka, who is, like, integral to having a damage over time team. Robin, who is a pretty cool character from the story and also one of the best supports in the game, especially for one of my teams I run. And then Fei Xiao, who is a new, like, damage-dealing, cool warrior lady that has, like, a bajillion guns and kind of gives off, like, Dante vibes. And by guns, I just mean, like, weapons in general. That game is too fun. And, like, it kind of pains me to say that, but, like, I've put 300 hours into that game since it's come out.
I've put nowhere the amount of time you have.
See, that's the thing, is I don't know if I could in good faith be like, yeah, play Honkai, because, like, inherently, I do think the design of any game of that type is, like, evil.
Yeah.
And I'm deep enough into the meta now where I can feel where the pressures come from to get people to spend money. And for full transparency's sake, I have at this point spent some cash here and there, just to be like, yeah, I want these characters. Yeah. I will say, tragically, Star Rail is a very good RPG.
It is funny, the Madoka next upcoming RPG is basically just blatant Star Rail clone.
This seems to be the thing that they're like. I think that seems to be the move. Like I think they're making a Genshin-like game for one of the other. Is it Azur Lane? I think is getting like a Genshin-like open world thing too.
I like the drifting around.
That's pretty good. Genshin's just technically in the same fictional world, probably, or fictional universe, probably, but it's like not related story-wise to Honkai at all.
I think there's like there's a Hoyo multiverse.
Yeah.
And my impression is obviously that like a Honkai Star Rail probably has more homages to.
Well, there's a character in Star Rail that is just like stated as fact to be the same as he is the same guy from the last game they made.
Like I don't think like there's like a Raiden in Genshin, but like I assume it's like not the same thing as like, you know, I don't know what I'm talking about.
It's there are different versions of the same character, which is funny too because even there's story scenes hinting at that in Star Rail where like Acheron, who is like star player of one of my teams at Honkai, but a character who is in Honkai 3rd meets her and like references the similarities to like, oh hey, I know someone who is basically you. It's very weird.
It's a restaurant here. We eat recipe stuff.
I might stream some Star Rail at some point, but I'd probably wait until like they do a story patch or something. Also might start streaming some FF11. I got back into that. I made a new character.
Need more recipes. I feel like if I was gonna do like a live service gacha game, I'd just stream doing it because I feel like that'd be what I need to. Like I probably wouldn't like do the. I don't know. So there's another way. They're very rusty around here. Come on. Wait a minute. There's a guy out there.
I don't know if this is the point in the game where I would have put, like, a wacky, like, fun time side story thing.
Yeah, you mean like when Aerith dies and you go snowboard?
Yeah, so true. Listen, pal, everyone grieves in their own way. It's like... You remember when the Titan submersible thing happened and one of the rich asshole on board's kids was like, yeah, I'm at a Blink-182 concert right now, I'm not gonna leave, this is what my dad would have won?
Oh, there's just Sure, I'll do one more.
So I wasn't paying full attention. Did they just assume Tyr was their new employee? Or did
Yes.
she sign up for this? Oh, okay.
No, just do spicy shrimp, curry rice, cream stew. Spicy shrimp, curry rice, cream stew. I think you had the.
I think that was curry rice, right?
And she had the cream stew.
Okay.
No, I'm good.
And we got some good gold out of that. We're nothing but profits in this gambling town so far. We're doing great. Yeah, honestly, this is pretty weird core tier.
Alright, easy going, we just said. I don't even know why we're here. I kind of lost track of what the story was because we were talking.
Look at the recap.
It must be fate. Okay, remain the governor.
Yeah.
I think I understand now a bit more why a friend was like, well, maybe you don't want your co-op session to be the first time playing this game. So I'm like, oh.
So it goes.
So it goes. Still having a good time. But...
So here's the thing, is even, I feel like for the individual, like, plot beats, if I'm, like, kind of losing the thread sometimes, I get enough of, like, the actual... I feel like I have enough of a grasp on, like, the actual important overall arc of the game's narrative that, like, I don't mind not fully getting the beat by beat why exactly are we in this specific town again.
Yeah, it's just more like I know that, like, the... especially for the skits, like, the... It's kind of before, like, these games are make or break on the casts. Whether, like, sometimes the plots are mid, but, like, the characters are, like, what make the game. So it's, like, the interactions are like what make the game, and it's a shame to like lose that. Do you see this?
Yeah.
All right, what's up with you? You know what? I'm glad we're just not gonna. The story's better because we don't talk about this. Yeah. Some of these rooms are just empty. Um. Yeah. Symphonia had another town exactly like this with like it's a tourist town, except that that one was like oceanside resort rather than like a snowy resort.
That makes sense. It's fun for them to do the opposite.
Yeah. It's interesting too. Like I don't know how much that's in like in other games, but it might just be like because this is the Symphonia team, it might be doing their thing. I think on top of just like we missed something by like having like I don't think it's good to like. I feel like you could argue that like having yearly releases was not a good idea and crunching the team, but I feel like we're in the opposite situation. With like things taking 5 to 7 years.
Yeah.
And I do feel like there's like you get this I think with the Call of Duty fans as well, where like you have like the two teams with different styles of the same franchise. And there's like value in sort of like the two different styles, but like the realities of game development just don't make that possible these days.
Yeah. I mean, even the Call of Duty thing, it's like, I think it's more like 3 teams now, and like there's a lot more cross-pollination.
Yeah. Because like with this one, you had like Symphonia, then Rebirth, then Abyss.
2 years to make a game like this seems ridiculous. Like, I understand how it was more possible back then than like having to do the high fidelity, ridiculously over budget stuff that they're doing now. But like, goddamn, still.
On the one hand, I think it's definitely a case of like there's obviously crunching going on. But on the other hand, I'm like. You could do a game like this in like 2-3 years as like a reasonable time frame, and I don't want the crunch back, but I do want like the level of like ability to make things that
it would be nice if it was like, oh, every Zelda that comes out now, like major tentpole entry is like 5 to 7 years, yeah. Or just any franchise in general, like Final Fantasy, anything that's huge. It is a little bit of a bummer.
Yeah, that's one thing like I would like to maybe one day I'll actually be able to finally do game development. But like one thing I want to do is like I don't want to spend like forever on one project. Like I'd like to, do the kind of thing where I can like if I'm making something like when I make like a bunch of them, assuming I don't hate it, but like assuming I like the act development, I'd like to make it something where I'm like not spending this is the forever project that took me 7 years to make. Yeah. So what were we doing this? What was this? I know we did. Did we tell him to fuck off? That's the hotel. I don't know this was this. The black door and the white door. This was gonna be fun.
Are they gonna shit talk their neighbor now?
Yeah.
Damn.
All right. So
I am starting to get mildly hungry, but I do also
Yeah.
think we should go just a little bit further. Let's see if we can get, like, one more cutscene batch, maybe. Can you melt the snowman? I doubt it, but it looks...
I want to get. Can I knock? Okay. Because
Oh, no.
someone's too
Yeah,
tall.
it didn't look like an
Not
interactable
short.
thing.
How do you get that chest? That's what I want to know. There's the governor. Yeah, okay. That's where you need to go for plot. So that's over here. I say.
すっごいお屋敷。ここの人と結婚した。
確かまだ独身でしたよ。30は過ぎてますが。
I wonder who you be talking about.
もしかしてここ大佐の家とか？だったら大佐でもいいな。
そうだとしてもお断りです。でもここの持ち主なら喜ぶかもしれませんよ。
Female.
ピオニー陛下です。
Oh,
玉の腰。
皇帝は首都の生まれじゃないのか？確か王位継承の争いで子供の頃この町に。
ええ、そうです。ここはその時のお屋敷ですよ。
finger break in.
It's locked.
I guess we couldn't just go to the.
Children caught up in politics.
世襲制だったっけ？
基本的にはそうですわね。議会の承認が必要だとは思いますけれど。
I feel like that skit prompt would be a good reaction image for Twitter fights.
戦時中の祭りごとで敵も味方も多かったでしょうから、その前皇帝の息子である現皇帝も命を狙われていたのかもしれない。身を守るための情報操作だったのかもしれないわ。それなら軟禁などしなくてもよかったのではなくて、それにここのような観光客の多い町ではかえって危険ですわよ。何か特別な理由がありそうですわね。
俺も身を守るって口実で軟禁されてたけど、まったく政治に巻き込まれたガキはいい迷惑だっての。
Damn commentary.
ちょっと気になっただけだ。変な話して悪かったな。
Maybe the nobility is bad. Whoa, that was weird.
What a transition. Can you go even around further? No. Oh, that's so weird.
Yeah, not a fan.
I wonder if it just looks like that because so much of the screen is like bright white. But it's bizarre. Yeah, flashbang transition.
お兄さん？マジ？
やあ、ネフリ。久しぶりですね。あなたの結婚式以来ですか？
お兄さん、どうなってるの？アクゼルスで亡くなったって。
実はですね。
なんだか途方もない話だけれど、無事で何よりだわ。念のためタルタロスを点検させるから、補給が済み次第、ピオニー様にお会いしてね。
Emperor Peony, oh, like that place in Star Rail, right?
So true.
おや。
I do think it's funny that extremely after I talked about that last on the podcast, because they originally set it up
ピオニー様
as if it is possibly going to be like a battle of organized crime organizations. The story extremely becomes something not that.
危険はないと思いますが
It just happens to have a big, like, crime organization-esque faction involved
ご用心ください
called the Family.
すみませんがお話がありますので後ほどお一人でいらしてください
Oh, alone look later. Also, I wish we didn't go to the hotel if we knew we were gonna have to if we get it for free. Alright. So all the way back to the hotel. I'm assuming we can just go to the hotel for free at this point, but don't bother me knowing that.
知事から承っています
あ、俺ネフリーさんとこに忘れ物した。行ってくる。
俺も行こうか。
ネフリーさん女だぞ。
美人を見るのは好きだ。
ガイも男性ですものね
Oh, I love the writing in this game.
年上の人妻だよ
違うぞ。変な意味じゃなくて。
ご主人様僕も行く
ああ、もううぜえって。俺一人でいいよ。
I like how you follow it anyways.
I like how he's like, I like how, like, he's just like, oh, I forgot something at the place, I'll go. Like a fucking demon on the back of his shirt.
It
I wonder
almost
if this is a
looks like the Eggman logo.
I wonder if it's a reference, if it's a reference to anything, just because, you know, Jade also has the Pac-Man belt.
すみませんあなたがレプリカだと聞いてどうしても兄のことを話しておかなければと思って
何の話ですか。
兄がなぜフォミクリーの技術を生み出したのか今でも覚えていますあれは私が不注意で大切にしていた人形を壊してしまった日のことですその時兄はフォミクリーの元になる術を編み出して
Full Metal Alchemist.
レプリカを作ってくれたんです兄が9歳の時でした
What?
So true.
信じられね
He's just like, yeah, he developed the technology to create clones at 9.
そうですよねでも
As you do.
普通なら同じ人形を買うのに
He should have been level 100 when he joined us if that was how powerful he was. Jesus Christ.
その発想が普通じゃないと思いました
え。普通じゃないってそんな言い方。
今でこそ優しげにしていますが子供の頃の兄は悪魔でした大人でも難しい武術を使いこなし害のない魔物たちまでも残虐に殺して楽しんでいた兄には生き物の死が理解できなかったんです
そんな風には見えないけど。
兄を変えたのはネビリム先生ですネビリム先生はセブンスフォニムを使えるヒーラーでした兄はセブンスフォニムが使えないので先生を尊敬していたんですそして悲劇がセブンスフォニムを使おうとして兄は誤って制御不能の武術を兄の術はネビリム先生を害し
Dang.
殺しちまったのか。
その時はかろうじて生きていました兄今ならレプリカが作れるそうすればネビリム先生は助かる兄はネビリム先生の情報を抜きでも誕生したレプリカはただの化け物でした
本物のネビリムさんは。
亡くなりましたその後兄は才能を買われ軍の名家であるカーティス家へ養子に迎えられました多分兄はより整った環境で先生を生き返らせるための勉強がしたかったんだと思う
でも今は生物レプリカをやめさせた。どうして。
ピオニー様のおかげです 恐れ多いことです。リオニ様は兄の親友ですから。
そうか。
でも本当のところ、兄は今でもネビリム先生を復活させたいと思っているような気がするんです。
そんなことないと思うけどな。
Got a long belt.
It's for the fashion.
杞憂かもしれない。それでも私はあなたが兄の抑止力になってくれたらと思っているんです。話が長くなってしまいましたね。聞いてくださってありがとうございました。
ネフリーから話を聞きましたね。
That was fast.
聞いてない。
悪い子ですね。
Damn.
なんでバレたんだ。
まあいいでしょう。言っておきますが、私はもう先生の復活は望んでいません。
本当か？本当にか？
理由はあなたが一番よく知っているでしょ。私はネビルム先生に許しを請いたいんです。でもレプリカに過去の記憶はない。許してくれようがない。
ジェイド、
私は一生過去の罪に苛まれて生きるんです。
罪ってネビリムさんを殺しちまった。
そうですね。人が死ぬなんて大したことではないと思っていた自分。
I like this because also too,
俺だって
it makes him being such a dick to Luke even after he rejoined the party as like maybe that's him seeing too much of himself than he would like to admit in Luke as well.
Yeah.
I think that's neat.
やれやれ。慰めようとしていますか？いささか的外れですが、ま、気持ちだけいただいておきます。それよりこのことは誰にも言ってはいけませんよ。いいですか？
わかった。
約束しましたよ。
Jingle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mew! What was he doing?
His joints ache at 30. So true.
Yeah, true. Alright, if you
Okay.
don't mind, let's... Oh, we'll watch this.
Yeah,
let's
I
get-
wanted to wait first and see if there was skits,
この
and
間
then
の
got
ネビ
save
ルさ
and
んの話どう思う？
finish up.
ジェイドが自分で殺してしまった人、ネビリム先生を作り出すためにレプリカの技術を作り出したって。
I think we're just playing the undub because that's what Mel downloaded.
悪いな。
Yeah.
なんか
Well, I did
聞い
it
ておきたくて。
for my own selfish
誰にも
reasons.
話さないと約束したでしょう。
おお。
この調子では
Because, I want to listen to Japanese voices, and also,
いや
the skits are not dubbed in English dub, so.
果てしなく不安ですが、誰かに話しても
I think it took them a little Vesperia to actually dub the
ルーク
skits
自
as
身は
well,
よく
so.
わかっているはずですしね。
うん。やっちゃいけないこと、やっちまったこと。その言い訳を誰かが教えてくれるわけじゃないし、言い訳を探しちゃダメなんだよな。
そうですね。過ちを隠すための言い訳などに力を入れてしまうと、人はどんどんそちらに流れてしまう。一番簡単で一番難しいことですが、受け入れなければならないことをきちんと受け入れなければ。いい返事です。もし話した時にはきついお仕置き、これもわかりますね。
ああ。
Alright, go ahead, one.
Whew. Okay, there we go.
Beefy
Yeah, I need to
session.
eat. I'm starving. I had a late
Me
lunch.
too. Alright. Thank you, everyone, once again for coming.
It's good to
Glad
be
we could
back.
finally- Yeah, hopefully we can do it more regularly.
Yeah.
We'll see how it goes. I got classes starting this week, and I gotta figure out how I'm gonna schedule my life.
That's fair.
Especially because, like, my remote job is technically full-time, but I'm trying to see if I can somehow juggle it with my classes so I can get money still.
Yeah, so it goes.
We'll see how it goes. But anyway, yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
See you, everyone. Goodbye.
Yeah.